Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Okay, it's Ty. Did the Kenichi review. Fairy Tale. A whole lot better than last week. Oh, breath of fresh air. So, pretty much what happens in this chapter, what happened in this chapter, this is called Fairy Tale 311, The Country Until Tomorrow. And, Natsu and the gang, Natsu and the gang are in they're still down there. After defeating the executioners, they're walking around trying to find an exit. And, Mira Jane and I think Lucy too, I think it's just Mira Jane and Yukino, they're looking at Loki and saying, how did you get in there? Whole thing. And he says, I jumped down. And Yukino's asking, how is Arcadius-sama? How is he going to be all right? He's seen better days. It's a miracle he survived that lava pit. And basically, what was found out here was the reason why he survived. The reason why he survived was because of the princess. Princess Hisui? Hisui? I believe that's how you say her name. Anyway, she basically did was she gave him this necklace. Excuse me. This necklace with this charm. And this charm supposedly originated from the Jade Dragon. Remember that dragon that Wendy called forth? And that's where that was from. It was from the Jade Dragon. It was a protection charm. And then they're talking about how, I think it was Arcadius who told us to decide for us if the coastline was the proper course of action or not. And now it's like, why put us in the first place? Either way, we have to escape. And, tell it was from the tournament. And Loki saying, it's from the tournament that we're in heart. And then there's a door. And then Natsu's ready to blast down that door. Fire dragons! He falls down. It opens on its own. And he falls down. And somebody walks out of the door. And who it is? Dun dun dun! Hooded lady. Now I know King of Lightning was saying, I don't give a fuck. Well, I actually do. I'm very interested to find out who this person is. Now, we don't know. Hasn't been revealed in this chapter. And she's standing there, and you get a close look at her. And Natsu's like, who are you? And you look at her. And truth be told, she has features of a woman. Of a girl. It's not like it's a man. It's not a man. It's a girl. But we don't know who it is. So you move from that. And after that, we go into the palace. We see the princess, and basically, she's being informed by the guards that the executioners guild was defeated, and then she says, "I knew it." So, and what happens is Dalton is there. I think that's his name, Dalton. Darton. He's the guy who's the Ministry of Defense of the king. The guy who's opposed to Arcadius, the one who sent him in jail. Yeah, him. He shows up, and I'll give you the details of what they're saying. But pretty much what has happened here is that the princess was testing Fairy Tale. Yeah, basically, they had Fairy Tale come in there to rescue Lucy and to rescue Arcadius. And she was using Fairy Tale to try to save him. That's the logistics of this. And also that Arcadius wasn't the mastermind behind the Eclipse plan, it was Princess. And pretty much he comes in, Dart, and he says, so it was, when I suspected it was not. And he's there, and he's like saying, that he came back because he noticed that something was off. Um, and the whole thing was that, and at trial would be Fairy Tale. He's saying, and he says, "I know you were the one pulling the strings in the first place. Did a fine job making me despise him, just so he could hide the real mess behind the whole thing." Um, and he's just telling the princess, "Please reconsider this. You really shouldn't do this. The consequences will be desire." And Princess is telling Darton, "Hey, we must proceed as planned. I suppose now is the time to fill you in about the Eclipse plan too." And he's like, "What the fuck did you just say, bitch?" Like, what? There's another plan? Like, I didn't know about this. What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? Step off. So he's being informed this, and it's the actual Eclipse plan. Should it fail, tomorrow this country will cease to exist. And that goes from these events happen from page like 5 to 14. And that's the first half. Now the first half of the chapter, it wasn't all bullshit, it was all meaningless. No, I still think there was meaning here. I mean, you got to see the mystery person. So we now know that there's going to be a confrontation between Natsu and the gang and this mystery person. We're going to find out who it is. And we at least now know that the second Eclipse plan, that needs to be done. Because if it's not done, the country's going to be destroyed. So for this first half of this chapter, I'm going to give it like a 2.5, 3. Second half was pretty damn good. Now, I'm not going to give it a 5, this whole chapter. No. I'm going to give it a 4. It was good, better than last week. Leave it at that. So now we go into the logistics of the scan of what is going on as far as the tournament. Now, according to the list of what is said, there are 4 guilds still remaining in the tournament. You got Fairy Tale, Sabretooth, Lamia Scale, and Mermaid Heel. Mermaid Heel has 1 leader and 1 member. Lamia Scale has 1 leader and 2 members. Sabretooth's got 1 leader and 3 members. And Fairy Tail's got 1 leader and 4 members. And Mermaid Heel, pretty much, the leader is probably Kagura. And the members probably, I would say, Miliana, I guess. So anyway, that's the logistics of the story. And Fairy Tail is on top. And the only ones remaining now are, obviously, Juvia, Laoxys, Urza, and Gajeel. So they're moving forward. And then, basically what ends on happening is Shelia ends up fighting Juvia. So you got wind against water. I don't know if that's a good matchup. So, basically what happens is, she's like, "You're the one Leon's in love with. I didn't ask to be in love with him. I am. Well then, disappear!" And then they start fighting. And then there's Mavis. And this is just like a funny part. With Mavis, she's like smiling. "Bitch, come on. Like, what are you doing, Mavis? God damn it, Mavis. She's freaking annoying." But anyway, and that's basically how, and she's just there to like, a decoy Juvia, pretty much. And then we go to Urza. Now, I should mention, this part, very good. This was a very good conclusion to this chapter, and a setup that I think will bear fruit. I hope this bears fruit for next week. And I hope HIRO knows what he's doing here, because let me tell you something, if he pulls this off, I think I can forgive him. At least partially, at least 1/3, So we got Urza, and she's going to fight Minerva. She's waiting for Minerva to show up, but Minerva doesn't show up. Kagura does. Ooh, but doesn't it there? So Kagura shows up, she's got her sword unsheathed, she doesn't unsheaths it, and then Urza's like saying all the prediction was off, and stuff, and they start fighting, and go back and forth, and I'm like, what? Awesome! And they all going back and forth, and Nurse is saying she's strong, and then Kagura's saying, "Oh, let's see if you're worthy of the shower onto you, praise of shower onto you, Titania." And it was off the prediction. So Mama's my calculation. She's crying. Oh, everyone, go console the first now. But Makarov, come on, Makarov. She's a little girl. You gonna your advice from a little girl? Give me a break. Anyway, moving on. So they end up fighting back and forth, when a circle. And Mirza says she's this strong even without seizing her sword. And this circle shows up right in front of them. And we know what this is. Minerva. I should let everyone know. I'm beginning to hate Minerva. She doesn't belong in Sabretooth. She belongs in Tartarus. Or Rivendell. Or Gilmore Hearts. Or Eurasian States. She belongs in a dark guild. I'll say it again. Minerva belongs in a dark guild. Because, if anything, from the events that has happened with Sabretooth, it tells me this. She would even step over her own father's corpse to make sure Sabretooth wins. Tell that girl she wins the Jackass Prize, the scum of the universe. That is what Minerva is. But anyway, she shows up in between the two, grabs them, pushes them away, Urza and Kagura. And that's what we have now. What? And it was shock, Minerva's there, and then Minerva's there, and she's looking evil, and she says, why don't we make this a threesome? That isn't sexual. I want to let everyone know that the title of the next fairy tale chapter is not sexual. And she says, why don't we make this a threesome? And then Marvis is saying, oh, it's impossible to predict. Minerva has entered the fray. Next page, we got Urza, Kagura, and Minerva. And it just says it's become a battle royale. The strongest female mages of the tournament are about to go fight it out. Who will come out on top? And 312 threesomes. Now, like I said, it's not meant to be sexual, okay? But I should mention one thing, though. There are two other people who haven't fought yet that are part of Fairy Tail. Godjiel and Orga. Now, here's the thing. Here's the catch. Godjiel did not fight yet. You don't count that bullshit. That was trolling. That was trolling by HIRO. That was bullshit. He has a chance to redeem himself, Godjiel, and go up against Rogue. Orga, Loxus. Yes. Yes. That would be fucking interesting. Now, this fight. I already saw King's review. He says, should be a good fight. Okay. Kagura has never unsheathed her sword. The only person she wants to unsheath her sword for is Jial. Now, it would have been easier if it was her and Urza fighting, because then it would have been interesting. Because what if she started talking about, Jial and everything? But Minerva's there as well. So, you gotta wonder. Now, I don't know who wins this, to be honest. Minerva's powers concern me, though. Because even though Urza, bring out the swords and everything, we've seen Minerva do a lot of interesting things with her magic. Transportation of things, energy blasts, all that stuff. Now, I want to say that what if Kagura teams up with Urza and takes out Minerva? Because Kagura's not evil. She's not evil. Not by any stretch of the means. So, you got that as well. But I just wonder how this is going to go down. But Fairy Tail friendship. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope HIRO does this justice. Listen, HIRO. I want you to do it simple and clear. I want this to last for at least at least, please, please. This should be a good fight. Last it for at least the next chapter and the beginning of the following chapter. You know? And do it that way. And then maybe at the end of the chapter, next week's chapter, he shows something else briefly. Like he revealed the identity of the person with the hood, and that's it. And then next week you see the conclusion. The following week you see the conclusion of this fight. At least that's my thoughts on it. But like I said, you hold your breath. This is Urza against 2 other female mages that are fucking insanely powerful. And we want to see a good fight. Don't give us Jura and fucking Jial again. Don't give us Natsu. We want an awesome fight here, HIRO. That's all we ask for. So that's my theory on this for next week. I agree with King of Lions. It should be an awesome fight. I want to see a lot of shit go down. I want to see some, back and forth. Kagura is hurting Urza. Urza's hurting Kagura. Minerva's hurting them both. They're hurting Minerva. I want to see that. We haven't had that. And I want to see it. But good Fairy Tail chapter. A whole lot better than last week. 4 out of 5. Tell me what you guys think. Comments below. Rate. Comment. Subscribe. And that's all I got for you guys. Tonight I'll probably do the episode review of the Fairy Tail. It's not going to be good though. And that's pretty much it. This has been Bonkai. See you guys later. Urza for the motherfucking win. But I want to see Kagura do some shit. And Minerva, come on. Threesome. It's not sexual. It's not. See you guys later.